Rocco Baldelli was a five-tooled talent who seemed like he was on the path to becoming a superstar. Entering the league in 2003 and finishing third in the Rookie of the Year voting with 11 home runs, 78 RBIs, and 27 stolen bases, the Devil Rays were stoked about having him as a key part of their lineup for years to come. In 2004, he put up another solid season in 20 fewer games. But then, during his offseason training, disaster struck. He tore his ACL and later injured his elbow, requiring Tommy John surgery, which sidelined him for the entire 2005 season. In 2006, he returned midseason and was able to put up 16 home runs, 57 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases with a 3.02 average and a 3.2 WAR in just 92 games. But the injuries never stopped. In 2007, he only appeared in 35 games, where he ended up battling hamstring issues, which led to him being completely shut down for the rest of the season. Then came the devastating diagnosis. It was determined Rocco had a rare mitochondrial disease causing muscle fatigue and weakness. He attempted to play for a few more seasons, but he was never the same, playing 62 games in 2009 before calling it quits after the 2010 season. And now, as of 2025, he currently manages the Minnesota Twins, having led them to 3 American League Central titles since taking over in 2019. But now, to the point of our video, what if he didn't get hurt? What if he never had his mitochondrial disorder? I asked ChatGPT to project out his career as if he stayed healthy. Now, this was the first time I've ever ran a full career projection through ChatGPT. Well, the results were certainly a bit robotic, but it gives an interesting glimpse into an alternate timeline. And so basically, it spit out a pretty linear career arc where he progressed and really thrived in his mid to late 20s. His age 29 season in 2011 was where he put up his best wins above replacement number and home run total. From there, it projected a slow decline, with his final season coming at the age of 35 in 2017. Collectively, he ends his career with a 51.3 WAR, 2,433 hits, 257 home runs, 1,160 RBIs, 194 stolen bases, and a 279 batting average. I'll admit, I'm a bit skeptical of a lot of the numbers here, but if we base it off his first 2 seasons and assume he's able to maintain that performance for the next decade and not get hurt, then it's certainly plausible. It also even gave him 1 championship, which again, I'm not sure that happens if he sticks with the Rays his entire career, but they did lose the World Series in 2008 to the Phillies, so maybe a healthier Rocco Baldelli would have helped them pull it out that year. And also, if he did stay with the Tampa Bay Rays for his entire career, this would likely put him as their best player of all time, or at least in a pretty tight competition with Evan Longoria. But what would a contract have looked like for Rocco at that time? I asked ChatGPT to project out the deal that he would have been given back in 2009 after his rookie contract ended, and it estimated 5 years and $50 million, which at the time would have put him in the mid to upper tier of center fielders financially. Still, it's hard to say if the Rays would have been willing to extend that offer, knowing their history of being a small market team that doesn't spend big. So now this begs the question, are these Hall of Fame worthy numbers? At first, I wasn't positive these stats would be enough. Nowadays, these Hall of Fame baseball voters can be a picky and inconsistent group, but the more I kept looking at it, I think he could have a case. For example, comparing his projected stats to Kirby Puckett's, Rocco actually beats him out, or is really close in some areas. Kirby was a first ballot Hall of Famer due to his dominance in 12 seasons, hitting for a high career average, leading the league in hits 4 times, winning 6 Gold Gloves, and winning 2 World Series with the Twins. But when you look at wins above replacement, a stat where guys in the Hall of Fame typically have around 50 or more WAR, Rocco's WAR puts him right on that borderline. Next, I wanted to try an old school comparison, so here's Hack Wilson versus Rocco. Hack was an absolute legend during his time, hitting 56 homers in the 1930 season, which was a National League record until 1998. He also had 191 RBIs that season, which is still the Major League Baseball season record. To go with that, he also had 5 straight seasons of 100 RBIs and 30 home runs. And man, was his OPS elite. He had a shorter career of just 12 seasons, but as you can see, compared to Rocco's projected numbers, Rocco's stats stack up well, even though he did play 5 years longer. But yeah, altogether, completely different baseball eras going against completely different levels of play, so maybe not the best comparison. The next one, which I think was actually a great comparison, was Torii Hunter. Torii played for 19 seasons, 12 of them with the Twins, and was eligible for Hall of Fame voting starting in 2021. While in this scenario, Torii played 2 more seasons than Rocco. Their stats are still really close. Where Torii has the edge is with his glove, winning 9 Gold Gloves, and then also having nearly 100 home runs more than Rocco. And as of the most recent 2025 Hall of Fame voting, Torii got just 5.1% of the vote, which is way off from the 75% needed to make it in. One last name I looked to compare to is Jimmy Rollins. They both play different positions, but as you can see, Rollins' stats versus Rocco's projected stats are close in some areas, but Rollins definitely hasn't beaten stolen bases. Rollins has been on the Hall of Fame ballot since 2022 and has been gaining votes year over year, with him seeing 18% of the votes in 2025. He still has 6 more years of eligibility to get in, and my guess is we'll see his voting percentage continue to climb, so he does have a chance, but it's still a pretty large gap to make up. So after reviewing everything, where does this leave us? Well, if Baldelli did put up these numbers, I think he'd be a fringe Hall of Fame guy. Definitely getting some votes, but likely falling short of the 75% needed to get it. Still, the Baseball Writers Association is an unpredictable group, some of whom consider other items beyond stats, so you truly never know. And as we mentioned, it's likely he'd have given the Tampa Bay Rays that extra boost in 2008, which could have helped tip the scales in their favor to beat the Phillies in the World Series. At the end of the day, I really wish Rocco could have had this long, successful career, but unfortunately, we don't live in a hypothetical world. Still, it's fun to look back and do these what-if comparisons. It makes you wonder just how different baseball history might look if injuries hadn't derailed so many promising careers. Hey, if you've enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, please drop a comment and let us know. Thanks for watching.